I think brands are being dragged down a route that's very digital and very interactive from that perspective. Some of the times it's about going back to basics and engaging people on a human level. Certainly in the physical environment, it's all about engaging smell, very important, taste as well, and almost a cacophony of all of these experiences to create lasting memories and almost evoke memories that people remember from their childhood.
It's not about anymore being really mass market in the way that you approach things. It's about really finding out about what your customers' desires are and actually tapping into that on a really emotional level, so you can make it an experience at the same time, because retailers long past, certainly in the bricks and mortar space, have just been in it for the sale, and it's critical that brands know that.
There are three main cognitive principles that kind of underlie superior remembering. And the first is to use your imagination, so the mind remembers anything which is vivid, interesting. And narrative is actually the second thing. So if you're trying to remember something, making a story out of it turns out to be one of the best ways. And the third thing is the one you always got to add to everything else, which is repetition. Like, to remember something, we have to practice it, we've got to repeat it. That's how our brain knows the information's important.
Memory is not a true recollection, it's a reconstruction of what we think happened. We like what's familiar, even if we don't consciously remember that those things are familiar. And I think that's why people tend to buy what their parents bought. It takes you back to that comfortable feeling of childhood.
So at Money Supermarket, we've had a huge amount of fun over the last 18 months, 2 years or so, really leaning into 80s nostalgia to drive an instant connection with our 35 plus core target audience. And for us, emotion is everything, and that is really at the heart of why nostalgia is so powerful.
We work with both to create a compelling customer experience at flagship, with which the Thunderstorm was one part of. And for us, the conversations that we had to have was about, actually, your product is brilliant, but the way customers want to experience it is very different to what the stories that you're telling them. But actually getting an organisation like that to think in a more emotional way was a real challenge. So lack of information doesn't mean that you're actually taking the brand in a different direction. You're just communicating with the audience in a different way.
My first interaction or experience with a brand, gosh, that's probably Cadbury's, I guess, sort of going to the sweet shop as a little girl.
So I love playing with Barbie dolls, as many little girls do, and I think the recent Mattel campaign where they looked at the power of the imagination really was powerful for me in terms of how I remember.
Honestly, and I know it's going to sound really cliche, but Nike. I remember being, crazily passionate about Nike as a brand when I was a child, to the point where I would save all of my paper round money and my gardening money so I could go into town and buy Nike products. It's not past. I'm still mad about Nike.
So I had two brothers, both who are fiercely competitive, still are, by the way, still give me a Chinese burn every now and again. But yeah, fighting over a Scalextrics is like just the peak of childhood for me.